This morning, it's time to look back at our lifestyle obsessions of 2010. And here to talk about the best and the worst and how they influenced our lives are CBS News medical correspondent Dr. Jennifer Ashton and AOL consumer advisor Regina Lewis. Great to see both of you this morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Yes, you too.
One of the unhappy obsessions of the last year, Jen, was the bed bugs, which just seemed to invade everyone's space somehow, some way.
Absolutely. Big ick factor. Caused considerable psychological stress. The concern medically was that maybe they could transmit diseases because obviously they come out, they bite us at night, they typically bite in clusters known disgustingly as breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's not subtle. You will be covered with them. The good news medically is that they don't appear to transmit any disease, but again, big psychological stress, very difficult to get rid of, oftentimes very expensive to get rid of.
Yeah, one disease I noticed they transmitted to a lot of people was insanity.
Yeah, exactly. Very stressful.
Yes.
And one of the top search terms of the year. People couldn't stop looking at the images.
Yep. That's a really good point. Yeah. Regina, in terms of things that also people were looking at, you know, Groupon and group buying was just a huge new thing this year.
Absolutely. Fast out of the box. Groupon now has 44 million members operating in 300 cities. So they really had a big year. And it's the notion that if I spend $40, I might get $100 worth of goods on spa treatments, food and beverage, maybe dance lessons. And that collective buying power was unprecedented for small businesses who saw record traffic coming in their doors. And I think, frankly, for consumers who sampled things, tried things that they might not otherwise. And of course, there are some other names. Living Social, Wow.com has something called Vouchers.
Yeah, things that we cover here on the show all the time for how people can save money. Jen, in terms of one thing that people were really focused on this year, WebMD, our partner in health, did a study, and they found that men and women both said that they wish that their sex lives were better. Did that surprise you that women especially were saying this?
It didn't surprise me. In fact, I think we can thank a lot of that awareness about women and their sexual preferences, sexual desires, to the mass marketing of drugs like Viagra. It's very difficult to watch TV for more than an hour without seeing an ad. What that did is brought women's sexual beings and health to more of a public awareness, made it more acceptable. And again, for men and women, we know that sex really is an active part of an important and healthy lifestyle. It's good for your blood pressure. It's an aerobic activity. It burns calories. Obviously, you know, it's something that men and women are concerned with.
And it's free.
Yes, and it doesn't cost a thing.
Well, speaking of another free thing that was a very active part of a lot of people's lifestyle, Facebook.
Oh boy.
Blew up.
It totally blew up. 500 million active users on a monthly basis. If it was a country, it would be right behind China and India.
Wow.
Pretty staggering. Of course, Zuckerberg, the Time Magazine Person of the Year, the movie, which was critically acclaimed. We're going into award season. But I think maybe the most telling metric is the fact that one of the fastest growing groups on Facebook, women over the age of 55. That's when you know you've gone mainstream.
You're both on Facebook.
Yeah, we
Very
both
much.
are.
I still need to get on board. I know it's embarrassing, but I still need to get on board. I am on board, however, with another big trend, which is the iPad. And it seems like one day no one had them, and the next day everybody was holding one of these in their hand.
And more people in the new year. I think the iPad is still in its infancy. This tablet technology, really game-changing for the magazine industry in particular, but for every one person you know who has one this year, Rebecca, 6 people will have them next year.
Because they're coming out. Go ahead.
Is it coming down in price also?
It's not coming down necessarily in price, but rumor has it it's going to have wide-range speakers, so it could become the next generation boombox, if you will. And then the screen is going to be smudge-proof.
Jen, your eyebrows just rose.
Yes. Well,
Your kids have one.
I just got one this year, and I use it a lot for work, a lot for music, a lot for photographs, but the speakers will be
that's cool.
On a less happy note, throat cancer became a really big story this year. Michael Douglas brought a lot of attention to it. Jen, what do you think drove that?
Well, anytime we have a public figure or a celebrity afflicted with some illness or medical condition, it really is an opportunity to bring that condition or that disease to the public forefront. And I think Michael Douglas really did that in a graceful manner. The fact of the matter is most people hadn't been so familiar with throat cancer until he came out with it. And I think that it's important to realize it is on the rise. His particular form of throat cancer, while it was stage 4, caused by HPV, the human papillomavirus, another thing people were not aware of. So again, a lot of information was able to be passed along to the public, and hopefully he has a good chance of survival.
One last question I'm really curious about, diet fads.
The 2 things we heard about this year a lot, Rebecca, one of them was gluten-free diet. Similar to celiac disease, it's really an allergy or sensitivity to wheat protein, popularized by a lot of celebrities. There are more and more gluten-free foods available. So again, if you're suspicious that you have that, you can get tested by your doctor. Vitamin D, we heard increase in recommendations for daily allowance. We have not heard the end of it. We'll continue to hear about it in 2011.
And I'm sure both of you will be with us to report on all of it. Dr. Jennifer Ashton and Regina Lewis, thanks so much to both of you.
Bet.
Happy New Year.
You too.